Folks, Adam here with the second tutorial on yEd using the mineral processing icons from Transmin. So as you can see, this is the yEd software that we taught you how to install and how to get the palettes to bring in these mineral processing icons in the first tutorial, the first video. So now we've got the streams and we've got the icons. And we've got an empty set here. So what we might do is just a simple flow sheet. Maybe we're going to have like maybe we'll have a bin. Just drag the palette straight onto the workspace here. Maybe bring in a ball mill, and for example, might have a cyclone. So typical kind of arrangement. What you can do is I'm zooming in with the scroll button on my mouse, and here we can connect the silo to the ball mill. But what we'd like it to do is be orthogonal, so we can pull it like this, and you can see it goes snap, and we've got the 90 degrees. Which is fine, but if we move the ball mill, now it's going to be an angle again, and that's not really conventional for flow sheets and mineral processing. We'd rather see them always go orthogonal. So there's a button here up at the top, orthogonal edges. Now you'll see that if I delete that one, if I just pull it now straight into there, you can see it goes orthogonal, which is fantastic. Can also pull in the underflow from the cyclone and bring that back to the mill, and you can see the first one is always going to snap into the middle. But then, you might have to move things around to have like two streams going back into the middle. I don't like the way that looks, not my favorite. So what I like to do is to combine the streams. So just get rid of that one from the cyclone and center this one again. It automatically snaps when you're moving things around. So I'm going to use this stream connector. This is the blue dot that I can just bring down and put under the cyclone. You can see that it gives me the guideline that it's in line with the cyclone. And it's on top of the feed, the mill feed stream. So now if I let go of my mouse, we've split this line in two, and we can bring down a new stream onto there. And now we can see that we've got two inputs into this joiner, and then those go together into the ball mill. Now we can put a recirculating load going up there, and we've got the basic milling thing. So we probably need a feed, so we can bring in a stream coming in, and we can also bring in another stream coming out. So you can see here we've got this one. Maybe go to, for example, to double click on that and say flotation, and maybe this is the feed here. All right, so starting to get there. If we wanted to label this as the feed bin, down in the bottom there's this properties view window, so just come down here and go to feed bin, type it in there, and then it's automatically going to put the label below the line there. You can see that these connectors are all black. I kind of prefer these gray ones that we've got on the mineral processing feed streams, so let's just go ahead and replace those now with the gray ones, just so you can see a little better the text on the labels that go above that. So just put those on that. So I come out, I let go of my mouse, and then bring it back in, and you can see it's routed around. And all these streams, you can just pull them around. If you wanted to go a different way, you can just pull them around. Imagine, for example, you've got to come out of the top of the mill, which would be kind of nuts. If I pull it to the right, it won't let me go any further than the right. But if I was to drag this point here, then I can pull that down. Now you can see I can get the routing coming out of the mill and then going into the cyclone like that. Okay, so that's how you do that. One more thing to show would be like crossovers. So say we did have, for example, the flotation plant. Maybe we've got like a rougher scavenger. And if I just move it around, you can see once it's lined up, get the guideline, let go. And we'll do the same for the cleaner. So now we've got a rougher scavenger and cleaner. The concentrate goes to the cleaner, the tailings goes to the scavenger. And maybe the concentrate from the from the scavenger goes back into the feed for the rougher. And now you can see we've got a crossover here, and it doesn't make any sense because you really don't know which way things are going. Really, it's not a good way to have the crossover just plain like that. So we come into Files, Preferences, Display. It gives you a choice of different bridges. My personal preference is a semicircle, so we can go to semicircle and go like that. And now you can see crossovers are going to be, if we do more crossovers, you can see that. Oh, why didn't that cross over? Okay, it did. That was weird. Okay, so that's how we go about that. And so now we've got the crossover set up, we've got the orthogonal edges done, and we understand how to bring in icons and how to label feed streams and also unit operations. You can also label this if we wanted to call this mill discharge. We can just highlight the stream itself and say mill discharge, and it'll give us a label, and then you can see that you can put it in different parts of the stream. You can put it above or below the line, and you can put it, different places, but obviously it depends on which labels. The orientation of the stream and stuff is where you might want to have the labels. There are other kinds of labels too. If we wanted to have, for example, let's just get rid of some of these. We could use double click. If you double click, this is going to be the default stream. So double clicking on the one with the numbers. So now we can have numbering on our streams, and if we wanted to change the number to, for example, to 2, now we've got numbers for the streams. In this case here, this flotation cell is always going to have a crossover where we bring it back around. So if we just go ahead and do this, you can see that we've got the crossover. I always like to avoid crossovers if possible. So one way of doing that is by using the upside down float cell. So you can right click on the upside down one and say apply type, and it's giving us this other one. There's no way of flipping in yEd, so you can't flip left and right. This is why things like mills and float cells and things don't have a left and right. They're symmetrical, because sometimes you want to come in from one side and not the other. So that's why we've got them all symmetrical. But now you can see that we've got the concentrate coming out the top of that one. So now we can bring it up top, and we can have our third stream going that way. All good. And of course we could, just connect those if we wanted back into here. Or another way to do it would be to grab the stream connector and bring it to that point. Grab the connector, and now we've got it like that. Okay, so yeah, that's how we do the basic functionality in yEd with these mineral processing icons. And please don't resize them. So if for example you were to take, let's just take this cyclone cluster, if you stretch them out, they look like garbage. So don't stretch them. They're all sort of the right size, that they're, make sense next to each other. Especially conveyors, which is like a perennial pain in the behind. Just don't stretch them, because if you do, you're going to have this sort of garbage and it looks worse. I tend to not use conveyors and pumps and things like that. There are some pumps and things like that at the bottom of the set here, if you really need them. But if you're trying to just convey mineral processing flowsheet philosophy, you don't have to put conveyors and pumps and things like that. You don't have to put parallel equipment either. Just keep it simple. What you could do here as well is, there's a couple other things we've got. There's this sort of box here that you might want to say, you could say vendor package, for example, might be a typical use for this kind of dotted box. There's also super useful title block. So if you wanted to give a name, saying, example 2 for flowsheets.org, so you just double type, and then you can have your, you can have your details on here, and then this is a title block that you can put around, and so then you could take a screenshot of this. So you can either clip the screen, or another thing you can do is select the whole thing like this, and come up to Edit, copy to System Clipboard, and now if you've got this on the System Clipboard, now you can paste this into PowerPoint, Word, anything like that. There's other things you can do too, like for example, save as and export. You can export it as an SVG file, which would be vectorial, which can be nice. But for most applications, this is all that you need. All right, I think that's the basics. Best of luck. And any questions, post them in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you. Any suggestions for icons, send me along suggestions and I'll add them to the data, into the palette. And if you don't like some icons, let me know why. I'd love to hear from you on that. Okay, guys.